Greetings and welcome to Magnets, Crystals, and Pyramids. I am your host, Brother Ankh Rising Sun, also known as Uncle Hanky. I am the mad glad scientist, product developer, bringing you geniuses and people who are experts, innovators in their area of specialty. So tonight we're going to have an amazing show. Um, with natural born Tantrika. But before we begin, let's do our opening in the way we know how. So we're going to say, I am in me. I am in Muriel. I am in you, the listening audience, now and in the future. I am in a sea of love. In the name of love, as a self realized particle beam of Ra, I call upon the forces of nature, angels, and ascended masters. But as always, before I begin practicing the science of forgiveness and gratitude, yes, I am forgiving all past lives. And yes, I am asking all past lives to please forgive me. I ask that everybody from my past lives to please forgive me because I don't remember. And yes, I am forgiving everyone in this life. And yes, I am asking everyone in this life to please forgive me. In the name of love, I call upon the forces of nature, Elegba, Oshun, goddess of love. We're doing a special tribute to you tonight, Oshun. We ask that you be with us on the show. We call upon Yemaya. We call on Oya. We call on Obatala, Shango. We call on Ogun, Ologun. We call on Ochosi to be here too. We call on the ascended masters. We call on Enoch the Ethiopian, also known as Metatron. We call on Simeon Toko, the latest Christ born in the Congo. We call on Sheikh Amadou Bamba. We call on Black Madonna. We call on Mother Mary. We call on Saint Germain, Nikolai Tesla, Wilhelm Reich, Townsend Brown. We call on Mosea Marcus Garvey. We call on Prophet Noble Drew Ali. We call on Melchizedek, Elijah. We call on Yahshua. We call on White Buffalo Calf Woman. We call on Chief Geronimo. We call on Master Shroom, Dr. George Washington Carver. We call on Dr. Sabi. We call on Harriet Tubman. We call on Chief Osceola. We call on P.B. Randolph. We call on all the ascended masters. We call on Master Himalaya, Master Shasta, Master Mu, Master Atlantis. We call on all the Buddhas. We call on all the Krishnas. We call on Ganesh. We call on Lakshmi. We call on Mother of Mercy. Kuan Yin, could you be here? We call on the Monkey King. We call on Malcolm X. We call on Red Fox and Richard Pryor. We call on Moms Mabley. We call on the masters of comedy to be with us on this marvelous Monday. We call on Archangel Michael, protect all our friends and loved ones. We call on Metatron. We call on Archangel Gabriel. We call on Archangel Raphael. We call on Archangel Uriel. We call on Archangel Chamiel. We call on Archangel Camiel. We call on cherubim and seraphim to be here tonight. We call on the ascended masters of Tantra. We acknowledge Master Nityama. And we call upon the master presence out of Georgia, Master Yao. And we thank you for being with us tonight. And we say together, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe,
Ashe.
Ashe.
Hmm.
Okay, so the name of this show tonight, ladies and gentlemen, gods and goddesses, the name of this show tonight is Sex Magic, the resurrection of the goddess magic and homecoming to WAP. So, without
Homecoming to
further
WAP.
ado, I want to bring to the wooden stage front and center our sister Mirielle. Tell us what you got going on. What's cooking in the kitchen, sister?
Hi, welcome. Well, thank you for having me, Brother Hank. Thank you, Brother Baraka, and I'm just excited. I'm just cooking up, helping women connect to their WAP, but also
Mm,
men as well. Because this is not just for women. Because when a man knows how to turn on that engine or whatever, it like sparks something different in a relationship. So helping them connect to their WAP, helping them to get that wet pussy action going
mm,
with
mm.
themselves first.
Okay.
And so as they can develop that relationship with themselves, turning themselves on, as you said, every woman should be a walking tantrika.
Mm,
You should know how to get your pussy wet on your own. And
mm.
so and so and so having a partner in a conscious relationship that can do that with you, that's just a plus in my book. Or
Yes, it
whatever,
is.
that's just a plus. But knowing how to get that action going on your own, knowing how to just sit in stillness and start working those muscles down there, or those vagina muscles, the anus
Mm,
muscles, and
mm.
stimulating that energy, get it flowing. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it does something different for you. So yes, that's what I'm
Wow.
working on right now.
Wow. So I just got a question to ask you.
What's up?
What started you on this path? Inquiring minds would like to know. How did you get into this transcendental, multidimensional levels of bliss, my sister? Please share a little bit about your journey.
First and foremost, I've always been what society calls a freak, like a
Mm,
woman that is just so connected with herself, that knows how to get that squirt action going, a woman that knows what she wants. So like I've always been that
mm,
woman, and so for a long time I was kind of ashamed of it, because I felt like that's not the messaging that's pushed out there. It's pushed. You got to be modest. You have to wait on somebody to see that in you and to kind of bring that out of you. But I've always been that. So in my relationships, I would literally like dominate men, and so not trying to, but like in the bedroom. And so I just had to learn to kind of allow it to flow, and not allow
mm.
it to be a dominating energy, but like one in which that says, hey, come and rejoice with me, come and let's get this milk and honey flowing. and
Wow.
so and so just tapping into that. But like last time I was on there, I told you guys how I went to Bali, and when I went there, I met a man who was a natural tantrika.
Mm,
And I looked at him and I said, and like prior to that, I had never known like about this term. But I looked at him and I said, "You have raw sexual energy," and he said, "So do you." And I
Ooh.
said, "Wow!" And this was an Indonesian man. He was like, "So do you?" He was like, "I'm just looking at you, and I just feel the energy coming off you." He said, "To be honest, my hairs are raising off." He said, "I've never had that experience with anybody else but myself."
Wow.
And so that had me start investigating to say, okay, what is this raw sexual energy?
Mm.
Um, and then learning how to use it to like hold it so that it can go upward and like activate everything else, activate my heart chakra, activate my third eye,
Mm.
in different ways. So yeah.
Very interesting. You know, it seems like a lot of sisters have just been shut down because they want to be the goody two shoes, and they always want to, they've been socially conditioned that
Yeah.
good girls don't like good sex.
Yeah.
And then, so there's a shift going on. Do you think the Cardi B video was helpful in getting the church girls to bust loose a little bit, Muriel?
I do think so. I do think so. I think that get like that video. I watch it and I'm turned on. I'm not even turned on by women, but I'm like, hey, I saw one and drop it like it's hot. It's twerk it myself. But
Mm,
I do think so. I think that gave women permission. Women who need permission. That's the big thing.
yes,
Not
right.
every woman needs permission.
Mm,
But women who need permission to allow that part of them to flow freely, I
right.
think that gave them permission. But also, it's not all women because the ones who weren't ready for it criticized her, called all types of hoes and sluts, called her all types of this. But like
Mm.
that's a woman owning her sexuality, owning who she is. And so you have to be ready for this, thing because it's as you know, it's gonna blow your freaking mind, and
You
whoever you're
got
with,
that
your
right.
partner.
Yeah, we want to acknowledge Baraka worked out the computer technology.
I made it.
Welcome in, Baraka.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, Baraka. I can't see that
Hi,
handsome face
Muriel.
of yours. You look like you're in the dark.
I'm right here.
All right, good to
Yeah.
see you. Good
He's
to
in his
see you.
I
flaming.
was having some technical difficulties,
That's
but
Well,
it.
I guess it worked out.
Yeah.
you
Well.
jumped in right at a good time. We
Yeah.
talking about the wet ass pussy.
And we got her sandwiched between us, brother, so we can ping pong the question back and forth. All right. So
I'm
Wow.
I'm open. I'm available for that. What's up?
okay, so let's get down into the nitty gritty. Just recently I heard someone describe the yoni as being the socket and the male principle being the plug. And the socket, as know, that's where you got all the juice, the
Mhm.
voltage, the wattage, the amperage.
Mhm.
So, what is it about women disclaiming their yoni magic to seem like they're just going to be a fairy that um, plays the reluctant victim of the male testosterone? Where did all this come from?
I think all of this is just conditioning from like things in which you learn at home because I grew up in a very Catholic home and Haitian American parents and so
Mm,
um and so it's conditioning. It starts as early as that, and then society adds its own thing. Anytime
mm,
any woman walked out with any scandalous outfit on, it's like calling her these different kinds of names. So women not wanting to be identified as those roles, and so having this modest image, but it's just the image. We know we put on different masks, right? And
right.
so as you put on these different masks, that's an image. But so what happens is that women put on this image of this modesty or not wanting to claim that or claim the victim. And so they begin to attract people with that mask on. And
Mm,
so they're attracting people who are attracted to the mask. And so
mm,
now once they get the people, and so like now they want to pull off the layers, and the people are like, oh no, like want to either use them, abuse them, or manipulate them. Not saying it's their fault by any way, but it's the mask in which attracted the people. Does that make
mm.
sense?
Yep.
And so and so now, in order to keep this going, like not many people, what I've come to find, are ready to accept responsibility and say, you know what? I see where I fucked up, and I want to be able to transmute that energy and do something different as a result, or whatever. I'm going to be myself. I'm going to be free. I'm going to just shed off those layers, because
Mm.
it's easier for me to blame you and say you were the reason in which this didn't work out. You were the reason.
Wow, that's interesting. Um, so I'm just getting, I'm just getting my chair seated, and I'm doing a little microdose of some Grandma Aya. So I'm feeling kind of like jet stream
Bless,
easy,
bless.
I
and
am ready. That's
yeah, yeah,
beautiful.
I'm kind of ready. I'm ready for this. So tell us a little bit from your experience. Why? How can sisters, without revealing your whole program that's going to be happening in the near future, family? I just want to post her flyer. This is what our sister Muriel is going to be doing. Sexual liberation and manifestation begins September 20th. Register. Let me just move this banner for a second. Register at intuitblends.com. Um,
Right before the equinox.
Also, we're going to have the
Hmm.
other flyer. Here's a little more information, a 5 week
I
workshop.
should say right on the equinox.
Yeah, it is right on the equinox, brother.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Listen, everything is timing, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Shifting. You
Hmm.
can't want new stuff but keep doing the same old things.
So
Whoa.
Muriel, quickly, I
What's
want to
that?
jump in. Modesty, women and modesty. You feel that women maybe are unnecessarily modest, or that it blocks their inhibitions, and which would allow further fulfillment.
Yes, I think there's modesty and there's just, kind of keeping things quiet, keeping things to yourself or whatever. But like the modesty is like almost like a role. It's like a mask in which we feel at times that we have to wear to appear as this person to attract this particular thing, this particular person, or to have people see us in this particular way. That's that goes back to caring what society thinks, caring about the
Mhm.
images, going back into the boxes that society want to put you in. But yeah, I think that just releasing. I'm not saying to put all your sex business out there like I do, because I do. That's just not a big thing for me. It's a part of my
Mm.
experience, my human evolution here on this
Hallelujah.
earth. In order to celebrate the totality of me, and sex is a huge
Mm.
part of the totality of me. In just using, I'm big on transmuting energy, and so
Mhm.
transmuting my personal energy in my body to like work on different things. For example, I'm gonna tell you one of the areas, because I'm sure as most of you guys are aware that any place in which we have blocked energy in our body, especially in our organs and our glands, it it begins to get affected in some way, shape, or form. When so, for example, with women, I feel who have been suppressed, who their creativity has been suppressed, who their personality, sex lives have been suppressed, all that they wind up having fibroids or womb issues.
Mhm.
And and
Mhm.
so and so I can tell you that because for a long time that was me. As a kid, I was very out there. The same way I am now, I was very out there, but I was suppressed all the time because my parents didn't like that. I was out the box. I would say the most reckless shit, and they didn't like that. And so when I was in my early 20s, I was diagnosed with fibroids. I'm like, how the hell I get fibroids? Like I haven't even
Mhm.
like really started having a sex life or anything yet. But like,
Mm.
but but doing sex magic, watching my when I'm eating plant-based foods and stuff like that, like the fibroids literally started shrinking on their own. I've been told to have surgeries a number of times. I said, I ain't doing that. But like
Mm.
but directing the energy where you want the energy to go into your rooms. The fibroids literally started shrinking. At one point, there was the size of grapefruits.
Whoa. So, what would you say is the primary reason women get fibroids?
There are so many different things from health wise. I think health is number one, but I think emotional blockages
Mm.
plays a huge part in it. Not tapping into the fullness of your emotions or suppressing emotions, holding on to stuff, and a lot of times they're generational. My mom couldn't, like, I can't even have a conversation right now at this age. I'm 38 years old. I can't have a conversation right now with my mom about sex.
Mm,
Like, she's not liberated enough to have that conversation.
Oh, that's
mm,
deep.
Or like, not even about sex, but like her emotional stuff. I can't even
mm,
have a conversation with her about that.
mm,
But, her too, she had fibroids.
Oh,
mm,
And
oh.
so, and it happened. Her mother had
mm.
fibroids. The things in which we are not addressing is getting passed down to the next generation.
So
And
So
fibroids.
so,
with with regard
Getting us
to
excited. Go ahead. You go first, Baraka.
yeah, she Muriel is going way out, and we're gonna bring it back though. But back to the modesty, right? I think
Mhm.
that I agree with you 100%. However, I think that the issue of modesty is in what level you're really ready and willing to play the game,
Yeah.
because some people take tremendous pleasure in the chase,
Mhm.
and it's like, and then when you can get to the point where you're like, what I mean, you're tussling lightly with it, where the role of, I guess you could say, the aggressor and the passive can wave and mean. It could go up and go down, but also
Mhm.
it could also reverse.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's like it provides that excitement,
I
and so
I
in other
think.
words, in other
Go ahead.
words,
I'm
like
sorry.
movies always show like scenes where two people are just so highly sexually charged that they just fuck right there on the
Mhm.
in the bathroom, or
Mhm.
some even in public. And by the way, did you come at the same time with the Indonesian guy?
I'm sorry. Listen,
I heard
I'm
that.
Shoot.
I'm
I heard
always
that.
coming, baby. I'm
I
always.
was backstage. I was backstage. She said
I,
always.
I'm
I know that
always
means,
coming.
you
It's
know
like
what?
all the time, a couple
That's
times a
the
day.
sign of a
So
true master.
seriously, but no,
Wow.
I
But
agree with you with the modesty and the chase. I love the chase. I love it. But both people have to be like actively in the chase. It can't just be one or another. Does that make
mhm,
sense?
Yeah.
So, but like I think that's different from modesty. Modesty is not so much as it relates to the chase, but feeling like you need to keep yourself in a certain kind of way, like in that no, I have to keep my sexual numbers low. I have to make sure that how I'm not out there sleeping with any person. That way, I'm not seen in this particular way or whatever. That's what I mean. And
mhm,
when you know you just want to be a freak, like you just want to be out there. You know that you just want to have like just because you're a freak, but that doesn't mean in which you are sleeping with everybody. No, it
Mm.
means that when you find somebody that your energy matches,
mhm,
it
Mm.
allows you to explore the different parts of you to
mhm,
like be able to come from like speaking into somebody's ear. You know what kind of level of fucking attraction that is? Just like a whisper. That's
Mm.
like
uh,
that's like wow. That's like,
yeah,
and like there's no penetration.
yeah,
I
Mm.
think that's the deep level of
yeah,
consciousness in which I'm speaking about.
yeah,
And everything. I believe that you don't always have to have that penetration or have that clitoral stimulus in order for you to come. If a
mhm,
man who is in tune with himself knows how to
mhm,
engage you the right way from his words,
mhm.
his language, his touch, like man, you'd be freaking exploding all over the place. That wet ass pussy is getting everything wet. I've ruined a lot of sheets. I'll tell you that much. Okay, and I have no shame in that.
Wow.
You
Bring your
know,
rubber ducky.
special shout out to Queen of Swords. I'm gonna see if is it okay, Mirielle? I bring on another liberated sister.
Go
'Cause-
ahead. The
oh
more the
yeah, okay.
merrier.
Let me see if I can get uh
Muriel, when a brother comes see you, he gotta bring a bottle, and
But
he
a
gotta bring a
bottle.
bottle and a
You better
rubber
bring some
ducky
roots.
and a rubber ducky.
Uh,
Yeah.
oh gosh, so Hank, you said some roots. You want something else?
yeah, man. Shoot. Better drink some roots. Let me see. Let me see if I can. Let me see. Go ahead. Baraka, take it from here. Let me see. I'm gonna see if I can
Okay.
bring on another liberated sister. Hold on a second.
Yeah. So you said okay every time. Yeah. So
Hmm.
so how does a woman develop? her sensitivities and heighten her awareness of, her body and her energy.
First and foremost, knowing where the energy centers are in your body. And so, as it relates to all of our portals have different energy centers. The Taoists call it chi. And so, for example, the space between the vagina and the anus, that space right there holds a lot of energy. And so, doing Kegels begins to tighten up those muscles. Once those muscles are tightened, it's holding in that energy in your body. And so as you're walking and going throughout those your day, you are whatever, just like running regular errands and doing whatever, you are
Mhm.
tightening the energy in your pleasure center. And
Mhm.
so now
While you're walking down the street.
while you're walking down the street. And so now as you are doing sexual activity, or like not even masturbating or whatever, you can direct that energy which you've been locking into that area um, all day, and just and like setting an intention, sending it to your womb, sending it to your heart, and
Mhm.
like not allowing your cum to actually release, but holding it and sending that energy back up into all your chakras and out through your head,
Mhm.
your
Mhm.
crown chakra.
Mhm.
And so for a woman to begin, I would say begin by doing Kegels. Once you begin by doing Kegels, you begin to turn yourself on. You would just that contracting of the muscles it's like it's tightening that area, as well as allowing that area to be able to lock. And so another area is your anus. You we have an energy center in our anus rectal area, and like doing the like latch and lock method, where you squeezing in and you're releasing, you're squeezing and you're releasing, and you can do this anytime, anywhere. And so that begins to build energy. So now with those muscles tightened, by the time penetration happens in either one of those portals, man, that man is like, from the minute he touches you, he is like already going through it. Like he's like, because those muscles have been tightened to the point you can grip it. You can grip the penis, hold on to it in either one of those portals, and like begin to just have the energy of the both of you guys. And you can do this with a partner. It doesn't have to be with self alone, but you can do it with the partner, and in the same way, directing
If
that energy into them.
if we weren't on the internet, I would
Mhm.
have a hilarious story to tell you about that. But instead, I'll ask you if when if sexual energy is similar or identical to actual life force energy, then a woman developing her doing her exercises and developing her strength in her pelvic floor and her vagina and in her and her whole reproductive system, that it has spiritual benefits as well.
Yeah. hmm Because the more that you are actually developing these energy centers, it's 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 the more in which you are actually ridding yourself and your body of things in which you don't need. We carry a lot of things that help us continue our suffering, just like Hank was saying before, in which women have these stories, or whatever, men too, or whatever, of trauma they experience, things they experience. Not saying they're not valid; they're very valid. However, we can transcend that. We can transcend it. The more we hold on to them, it's the more we just continue to get those stories firm in the concrete. The concrete is the concrete of our mind, the concrete of our heart, and so it becomes a lot more difficult to trust, to like actually step out and try new things. And so the more in which you are actually using your energy to directing it with intention, your sexual energy directing with intention, into different areas of the body, you are releasing yourself from like that suffering, that trauma, in which becomes a cycle that remains on loop in your mind and your body. And so because that stuff remains on loop, you wind up becoming like on autopilot, which means that how if you meet someone that is familiar to somebody else in which you've met, you just like, oh no, 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 I don't want anything to do with them because this is familiar. This is this. It's like your mind goes on autopilot as opposed to saying,
Hmm.
let me trust this energy. Let me step into it and explore it and see what it has to show me. And so,
Freaks, freaks have superpowers.
yeah, freaks definitely have superpowers. Listen, I've converted a couple of men, so I ain't gotta tell you about that.
Converted. What do you mean
So,
converted? What do you convert them to?
listen, Baraka, I feel like if a man gets with the right woman who knows all of this or whatever, he can leave that world, that macho world, and step into the consciousness of who he is,
Uh-huh.
and like actually activate that within him. But but a lot of times because the same way that women have been told stories, men have been told stories,
Hmm.
whatever,
Hmm.
that how you have to have this macho image, you have to have this presentation. If a woman is coming with this dominant force energy, no,
Hmm.
whatever, wait,
Hmm.
there's something wrong with her. She has daddy issues, whatever.
So
And
if you could just be specific and give me like a specific example of what you're describing.
conscious sex, having sex with a partner in which the two of you guys are connected on an energetic level, and like having and during the course of sexual activity, or even before, setting the intention, saying,
Hmm.
hey, what is it you're looking to release? What is it in which
Mm.
you're actually looking to open up? And allowing it to be like an intimate, like, sex, for me, doesn't have to be rushed. I don't really like rush sex. I'll take your time. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? Take your time.
Yeah, I
Massage
know
my
exactly what
feet.
you mean.
Do all of that. And so by the
Massage
time,
my feet.
yes, and so by the
Hmm.
time the penetration actually happens, and you've already set the intention, if a brother's
Right.
willing to say, like, man, I'm just looking to get rid of this hurt that I have in my heart
Wow.
because I have an issue with my mom, or this, that, and the third, and like
Mm.
us us both holding our release, and allowing it to go up into his heart. I'm directing my energy to actually go and heal his heart, and he's doing the same
Hmm.
with his own.
Hmm.
And so that's a magnified way of healing, to the point that you will find that that person begins acting so different. I believe his boys will
Hmm.
be like, "Yo, what's wrong with you?
Hmm.
You just look different. You just look like you just like energy around you." And so I've experienced that, but I think that sometimes brothers can become fearful of that after a while because this is unfamiliar territory. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, hey, Hank, you were saying something? I thought I heard you say something.
But it sounds like you want to tell us. Okay. It sounds like you want to
Okay,
tell a
I
story.
forgot
You
my
want to
mic
tell us
was out.
about something that happened and you were able to triumph over it and how you got over it.
Let me see. Is there a particular story? I don't know if there's any
Hmm.
particular one because I'm doing
Now,
this
while you
every
think of
day.
it,
Huh?
while you thinking of it, are you saying that some men can't handle a high voltage, high amperage woman?
Oh
Or
yeah.
Mimi? And what's the
Oh.
symptoms of somebody who can't handle a sister who's got a whole lot of WAP?
Insecurity.
Tell us about the what comes to the surface when a individual panics, a brother panics.
All of a sudden, they start
Yeah.
doubting if they really like you, even though they've
Mm.
come a long way with you. They
Mm.
start doubting if they really like you. Oh yeah, I don't know. I just want to kind of take it slow. I just want to do this. And so all of a sudden it becomes like everything becomes an issue. Even though you guys were open and on the way and like building something. And all of a sudden things come to an immediate halt, or seemingly so.
That almost
And
sounds like overdosing on psychedelics.
really.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Help
it's a
me.
panic.
I need to get out of here.
It's a
Mama.
panic that sets in. And so it's like it's like it's a lot of trust that's involved in this. This is not something in which you are going into with just anyone, someone who has to be ready. But a lot of brothers may think they're ready, and then what happens is that a lot of stuff comes up for them because doing this kind of activity, stuff is going to come up for you. And so the
Mm-hmm.
only way to kind of release that stuff is to
Mm-hmm.
talk to your partner about it.
Mm-hmm.
When I say stuff like past experiences,
Yeah, that's
just
gut work.
things in which you have never addressed, things in which you just suppress, it's gonna come up for you. But like talking to your partner about it or whatever, and saying, "Hey, after our last session, this came up for me," as opposed to running and saying, "Oh no, 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 no. I've been in this before, or this feels familiar to something I've been in," and then run and hide. That's hurtful. That's
Wow.
hurtful to somebody who's open to kind of explore it with you.
Yeah, I gotta give a special shout out to Joel Benjamin 528. He calls it sexually transmitted trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is that a possibility that you might get in an argument with the person's previous partner, whether male or female?
Yep. I've had that. I've had that. I had a partner.
Oh,
This is good now. I had a
Yeah.
partner who, the first time we had this exercise, the first time we had conscious sex, first of all, it was freaking mind blowing to the point that it felt like we were magnetized. And so after having that, I kid you not, I'm a dreamer, so dreams always come to me. I kid you not, like the very was it the same day or the next day? The next day, his ex came and visited me in a dream. I don't know
Ooh.
this person from a can of paint. I've never met the
mm.
ex, never seen a picture of the ex,
Oh
and so
shoot.
she said, "Leave him alone. That's my man." I said, "What?"
Oh.
She
Oh.
was like, "Leave him alone," and she like was chasing me down. I was like, "Listen, sister, I ain't going nowhere." And she was just like, "He's my man," but he was so afraid in the dream. He was afraid to confront her. And so I
Wow.
went back to him and I said, "What's the situation with your ex?" And
Oh
so,
snap.
I said, "What's the situation?" He's like, "What situation?" I said, "She came to me in a dream." And
Uh-oh.
so it was so he was just like, "Oh no, we broke up." I said, "Did you close that door? Because it's important
He
that
act like
as
she
we,
don't know.
huh?"
He act like she don't know she got skills.
I don't know what he was just I don't think he was consciously aware, but a lot of times women hold on to men
She was
emotionally,
boss. She was
spiritually,
bossing him around too.
of course, of
Wow.
course. And
Mm.
Mm.
so, and she came to me like visceral, like it felt so real. She came to me and was like chasing me down. I said, "Sister, listen, either we gonna fight or what, but I'm not leaving."
You
And
know,
so, go ahead.
I'm gonna say this real quick. There was a video going around on WhatsApp, and it
Hmm.
was a sister. She was a very pretty woman. Looked like she's in her 30s, but actually, I guess she was in
Hmm.
her 40s. She says, "Now, tell me if this is true, Mimi. Women in their 20s and 30s, they got coochie." She said,
Mhm.
"Coochie don't know when to shut the fuck up.
Right.
Coochie brings drama. When a woman's in her 40s, that's pussy."
I
And
can see
speaking
that.
of which, we're gonna bring on another beautiful goddess to the show. Welcome, Queen of Swords. I want to acknowledge you,
Oh
girl.
wow. Okay.
Hi,
Hi,
Hey.
Hey.
sister. How are you?
how you doing? I was
Good. Good to
listening.
meet
I was
you.
listening.
So
Nice to
yeah,
meet
we
you
were
too.
just talking about coochie versus pussy. Coochie being in the 20s and 30s, not bringing a whole lot of drama, not knowing when to shut the fuck up, and women in their 40s, they bring pussy, and pussy just wanted to be cared for, nurtured. Is there some validity to that?
I think there
Well, I'm
is. I
40.
think there is. Ooh, okay.
I'm
So,
40.
okay. I'll speak about the 20s and 30s or whatever in my experience. I'm not 40 yet. I'm 38, but I'm damn near close. And so
You
and
running
so
on
I'll
a
put
whole nother energy, Mimi. Go
in my
ahead.
20s and 30s, I was like, yeah, like kind of going after these guys. But the older I got, I'm like, listen, like just as the woman said, pussy just wants to be taken care of. Like, just
Mm,
show up. Just be yourself. Show up. Give
mm,
give Give me what I desire, and I will go above, beyond. I'll pleasure you in all kinds of ways.
Oh, I'm hearing
But
Mm.
echo.
you hearing an echo?
We don't
Anybody else
hear
hearing an echo?
echoes.
Don't stop, Muriel.
Okay, I will pleasure you in all kinds of ways, but I think as I got more mature and confident in self, I just felt
Oh,
like
I feel like it sounds like two people talking.
Yeah, that's on your side. You might have to turn your volume down or put on the headphones because we got good sound. Baraka, you got good sound?
Good sound. Keep going.
Yeah,
all
keep
right.
going,
So
Mirielle.
I feel like as I got older, I was able to just kind of direct,
Okay.
pick, choose, and refuse the things that work for me because
Mm.
I don't like the drama. I'm
Uh-huh.
not gonna fight with you for no dude. It ain't happening. Like I know that this pussy is wet enough that I can get any nigga out there. I ain't even gonna stress.
Mm.
And
Mm.
so but the thing is, sometimes people are wrapped up in that drama story and they hold
Mm.
on to that. And so if you're not fighting and clamoring and stuff for them, they think you don't want them. It's not that. It's that you're so confident in what you got going on that if somebody
Exactly.
is not coming to add to that, it's not worth your time.
So,
Queen of Swords.
Muriel, I think that we have to
Yes.
keep in mind that, all of us are lost. We're really lost
Mhm.
in this society because we're not taught really anything about sexuality. We're not taught anything really about how to not only get along with the opposite sex, but even how to relate to yourself. It's just,
Mhm.
get a job. Well, this thing is falling apart now, but it's, get a job and, have kids or whatever. So now men in dealing with an empowered woman, it's like his only frame of reference might be porno, and we know that pornos have been like infesting our communities, and so
Mhm.
even like I said, so listen, the
Yeah.
the wine game is non-existent, and the women are like robots, and so it makes sense that brothers would when faced with a real WAP, that they would
Panic.
slip and bump their head.
And I understand that. I understand that, but
Yeah.
the thing is, it's the willingness to be open. That's the thing for me. If you're willing
Mhm.
to be open, willing to communicate, I could rock with you. I could teach you.
Mm.
I'm open and available for that.
But even that's too much for a lot of brothers. I'm telling you,
Okay,
it's
so
like even the power
Mm-hmm.
dynamic, even like what we was talking about earlier about being modest and women faking it both sexually, but also in terms of their strength. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Women today, they don't think of strength in the way that great grandma thought of strength.
Yeah,
mm.
you're right.
And I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just saying that it's the lines is gray area. It could be good. I mean, I don't know, but the gray areas now we don't know how to even relate with one another.
I
Okay,
hear you,
so I'm going
brother.
to ask you, Queen of Swords. Tell us, please share with us a little bit about who you are as a ripe woman.
Right. Well, I'm from Jamaica,
Mm.
and yeah, born and raised in Jamaica, and I'm living in New York for now.
Yeah.
And study occult, practice witchcraft. My spare time. I mean, every day actually.
Mm-hmm.
And the sex topic is very interesting to me because she mentioned how she had a dream. The lady mentioned she had a dream,
Yeah.
and the lady was coming at her.
Mm-hmm.
I totally could relate to that, but the difference with me is I could feel them through the guy. I'll feel them through the guy.
Ooh.
The energy.
Mm.
Yeah, because the guy have the energy too of the girl.
Of the
They
previous woman.
carry the
Go ahead
energy too.
now. Go ahead.
So if
That's right.
so if I'm messing with a guy and he's with another girl and he's not telling her, I could feel her. I could feel that she knows. Like I pick up her energy and her.
Wow.
I could feel her. I could feel her grief. I could feel her grief.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes, I could feel it through the guy. That's why I rather date a guy that the girl know about me, and I know about her. So
wow.
there's no because there's people going around having guilty sex, and
Yep.
that's not a good
Ooh.
combination.
That is
Mm.
deep. Guilty
Yeah,
sex. What is
guilty
that?
sex. When you having sex and you feel guilty about your sexuality because you know you're
Yeah,
lying about who you are,
that's
especially to
very
your other
common.
partners. Yeah,
Mm,
very common. So guys carry that heavy burden on their heart
Hmm.
chakra by not being true to themselves. And
Yeah.
you
wow.
So
could
then,
pick
if
it
they're
up
not,
when you have sex with them.
so that if
Hmm.
they're not true to themselves, how can they even do any of this hard work that Muriel was talking about? They can't. They can't. And you know what? Listen, you know how many times men, sometimes, well, especially when you're young, they're doing
Yeah,
stuff that they know they ain't got no business doing. What are you doing? You know
yeah.
what I mean? With regard, in other words, to being intimate with women. Sometimes it's like it's the male macho
Yeah, we talked
drive
about that.
that
Yeah.
causes you to conquer.
Hmm.
You know, that's
And
that's one of the problems that we have.
Mm.
That's
Yeah.
deep
So,
though. Yeah.
in terms of the males, what are some things in which you would say that what you would say, like in terms of one or two things in which men could do to begin to tap into their own sexual energy, if you
not
even know?
being, I think they should not be ashamed of who they are. Like,
Mhm.
that like tell other females that they like being with other females. First of all, you free yourself like that. First of all, because you're not having
Hmm.
sex with guilt. You're not
Right.
feeling guilty while you're
Hmm.
having sex, which is a low vibration energy.
Yeah.
So, and that's the first step. Like, be honest and stop being afraid of the feminine energy. Because
Hmm.
Whoa, now
um,
that's something. Are there men that are actually afraid of the feminine force?
yeah, that's why they don't
Yeah.
tell. That's why they don't tell the truth because they're afraid of the energy.
Hmm.
They're afraid of the wrath. But you only
Oh.
get the wrath when you lie. So what's
Hmm.
the point?
Hmm.
You know,
No.
Mm.
that's just
Yeah.
my opinion. I think they're afraid of the feminine energy because if you're not afraid, then you would tell the truth, right?
Oh
Because
shit.
it's not good to have sex when you're not, when you have sex feeling guilty, it's gonna be hard for you to even manifest.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Wow.
Wow.
Hmm.
And so she spoke on something in terms of manifestation, like sex is one of the activities in which you can truly manifest the things in which you desire. And as she said, when when you're not coming to it like with a clear heart, just honesty, just
Hmm.
truth or whatever, it's challenging. It's
Mm.
challenging to tap into those energies and to actually be in
Yeah.
alignment with the universe if you're not in
Hmm.
alignment with yourself first.
Wow.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
So
family.
I would like to know about your the sister's ability to feel another woman's energy through him. Is that something that you did you have it early? Did it develop with time? How did that develop?
It developed. I don't even know how did it develop. It developed when I had my first sexual encounter with a conscious brother.
Mm.
Mm.
That's when it got activated. You could say I had
Mm.
sex with someone that was high vibration, and you could say it got activated. It was already it was
He
already
turned
in
you
me.
out.
Or
Yeah,
turned her on.
spiritual wise.
Would you
So,
say he turned you out or turned you on?
uh, you could say he healed me on some levels.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because yeah. So that was my beginning stage of being more sexually free. But
Mm-hmm.
and then it got developed. But when I first noticed it, I noticed it when I saw the other girl memory. Like I will see what she's going through him,
Mhm.
through because
Mhm.
I'm assuming because of the body fluid exchanging, like kissing and stuff like that, and just the energy. Because when you have sex, the energy transfers
Yes.
on
Right.
every level.
Right.
So
Mhm.
and then I actually had to develop it. I had to master my energy too. I had to master my sex energy. That took a couple of years.
Mhm.
How did you
What
learn
do
to
you
master
call
your energy?
mastering your energy? Yeah. What's
No,
mastering?
that's a long story. That's a long story.
Just tell us the
Muriel,
short
can
of
you
it.
master sex? I mean,
Yeah.
Okay,
Go
okay,
ahead,
okay.
girl. Go ahead.
Okay, let's just get to the nitty gritty.
yeah.
Incubus kept messing with me, right? So
Mm-hmm.
for them to stop messing with me, I had to master my sex energy.
Mm.
Hmm.
It's because Incubus kept messing with me in the dream realm. So I
Hmm.
had to master my sex energy by first of all learning how to say no. Like she said earlier, being a freak doesn't mean you're having sex with everybody.
No.
Because
Okay.
um, when I tell people I'm sexually free, they assume I'm having sex with like 100 guys a
Hmm.
month or something, but that's not what it means.
Hmm.
So even the word sexually free, people get a negative um, perception of it. But
So
but then again, having sex with a bunch of guys is not negative. It's all based on your
Perception.
perception.
Yep.
Yeah.
now
But
is
you know,
go
like I
ahead.
told it, like I said to you earlier, I had to develop it by mastering my sex energy, learning how to say no, only having sex when I feel like it,
Yeah.
mastering my
Hmm.
sexual happiness, not letting the guy be the master of my sexual energy.
Mhm.
And that took a couple of years because
Hmm.
I was afraid at first. And I've met women that's afraid of
Mhm.
being the master of their sexual energy. I don't, they are afraid.
That's
Um,
interesting. I never thought of women would.
yeah, yeah, they are.
Are they afraid of their strength? Are they afraid of their
They're afraid
matter?
of rejection.
Mhm.
Hmm.
That's a huge one. Rejection,
They
like,
they
go
assume
ahead.
if they master their energy, then nobody will want them because it's like women are programmed to think that they just have to be there to please men. That's it. They're programmed to believe that, so they assume that's all I have to do. I don't. They're afraid to ask for what they like sexually.
Mhm.
They're afraid of things like that, like to
So I got a
express
question.
themselves.
Can
All right.
women
Yeah.
program a man during the sexual act? Like, say, can she program Mirielle? Can a woman program an orgasm?
When you say program, what exactly do you mean?
Putting your
Yeah.
intentions into the bliss.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Hmm.
That
Okay.
that I could totally say. As long as the man is open and ready to receive, yeah, she can definitely program or like placing conscious intentions into the man as well as herself, and like
Yes.
sending
Yes.
sending that
I agree.
energy. Just as the sister said, I experienced all that the thing that she experienced in terms of feeling the energy of the women and all that.
Hmm.
Um, I think that that is a part of our cycle. Once you are coming into the sexual awareness of yourself, that's a part of it, and like being able to tap into it and explore it. I've had men call me witches. They're like, "How do you know these things? How do you know these things?" Because they don't. Men are not necessarily aware of how they also hold energy.
Oh
Men
Hmm.
yes, they do. They do. They
men are
definitely do.
huge receptors.
And
Hmm.
Um,
they got everybody believing it's just women, but and
exactly.
that's not true because I could feel other people's energy
Mhm.
from him. So they carry energy too. When a guy start acting different, that's usually
Mhm.
a new girl that he added on. You know what I'm saying? So you could feel the new energy now added
Yep.
on to his energy, and you could feel
Yep.
it.
Oh,
Yeah,
nonchalant.
and they
Yeah.
they could tap in if they're open to receive. Because I've been with guys that was never into the occult, and when I start messing with them, they start buying occult books. They start being creative. Now
Mhm.
they don't want to work. They want to be more creative. It's like just from the sexual act itself.
So you're
Do
saying
either of
that
you have children?
No,
No,
I don't have any children. Oh, you
I'm
don't have any
40.
children either?
Yeah, the
How
no
would
kids
you
crew.
how would you
Ah.
imagine
No kids crew.
how would you imagine, ladies, that you might raise your daughters differently than maybe you have been raised or what is typically accepted?
I plan on being a conscious parent. I plan on having these same conversations with my kids from early on and teaching them about their own energy and their sexual energy, teaching them to be open, teaching them to be able to discuss and communicate. I'm big on communication because I feel like that's something that gets neglected often, especially as it comes to the male-female relationship. And the more
Mhm.
we communicate, the more we can break down those inhibitions between the two of you guys because everybody's going off of perceived ideas, perceived rejection, perceived this. And
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, I definitely plan on raising children that can be consciously aware of
No, what would you
their
no specifically what would you do different? Like if there was an experience that you had or if there's a specific experience that you would like to pass on, What would it
Mm-hmm.
be?
Hmm. I would just kind of nurture their growth, their exploration. As they begin the process of exploring themselves, exploring their own sexual identity and things, I would nurture that as opposed to suppressing it. As I told you, growing up, a lot of my things were suppressed, creativity and everything, and so it resulted in me having womb issues for quite some time until I started on this road of sexual energy, sexual magic. And so yeah, I would just nurture all of the things in which they're desiring or want to explore, and like give them room to do so.
Hmm. What do you have to say about that, Queen of Swords?
Well, I don't want any kids, but I didn't plan on having any children. I'm 40 and I already have a cat. But if
Sis said,
Okay.
"I got a cat." I hear you, sis.
the way my parents raised me, oh man, they didn't do a good job because they didn't tell me about sex. I learned about it in school. So if I was to have a child, I will give them information about what sex is um, before somebody else does. Because,
Wow.
yes, because I learned everything the hard way. My mother and father never talked to me about sex. I didn't even know what sex was at 13, you know?
Wow.
So, yeah, so I found out in junior high school in the bathroom. I heard people talking about it, and that's when I found
Mm,
out what it was. And I was already a teenager, so you know that's crazy.
Mhm.
mm,
But so if I was to have children, I will encourage them to be free spirit and with boundaries, of course.
mhm.
And that's it, because free spirit is the way to be.
Okay.
All right,
Wow. This has been
y'all gonna force me to get explicit.
Okay,
Boy, what you been waiting on?
I'm
Well,
all
okay,
right.
so
Where's that?
still keeping in mind that we on the internet, but still,
Yes.
all right, since we having an intimate conversation, is there a um, even like a sexual rite of passage or a um, a sexual experience that sort of like changed your awareness or got you to look at things in a different kind of a way?
Hmm. For me, I would say me masturbating. Me masturbating for the first time and realizing that I can turn myself on,
mm,
or just being in love with myself. That was it. Like kind of just masturbating, realizing that wow, I can really cause this to happen to me. It's not necessarily a it has to be an encounter with a partner, but like I can cause that to happen to me, and that happened through self exploration. I just wanted to explore myself. As a young lady said, there were so many people talking about sex and all this, and I felt like I was missing out on something. And so and so as a result, I had my first sexual experience was a one night stand with some buster that I wouldn't even give the time of day today, but like feeling like I was missing out. So like I just wound up sleeping with him on some janky mattress on the floor in some apartment in Brooklyn. And I
mm,
said I would never do that again because I didn't know. I didn't know anything. Like she said, I didn't have any experience. My parents didn't tell me about this. It was things I learned from my friends, that people would make fun of me because I was 18. They were like, "Oh, you haven't had sex, Mirielle. You haven't had sex." They were kind of like joking on me all the time, and so I said, "Okay, let me just get this out the way." But we were after that experience. I said, "I don't ever want to do this again." I said, "I don't
mm,
ever want to have this experience again." Like with just somebody, it was just nasty. It just felt dirty. It felt grimy, and it felt like a porno. It just
mm,
felt disgusting, and I felt bad afterwards. And
mm,
so, and so I took some time. I took a few months and kind of just started like investigating my own sexual organs and then touching myself, playing with my nipples, doing things that stimulated myself. Once I realized that I was able to do that and feel free or whatever, that like activated my personal power as it related to my sexual energy. And it allowed me to approach sex a bit differently.
very interesting. So, Queen of Swords, how did
Oh
you
boy.
become sexually liberated?
Sure you want to hear it?
Yeah, I want to hear. Y'all want to hear? Y'all better make a comment. in the chat area, tell us. You know, it ain't got to do
Well,
2X. We ain't got to do triple X. You know, just
all right. By being by being open to well, how is it gonna be fun?
oh, this
Well,
sounds like it might get juicy. Listen to this.
yeah, but
Buckle your seatbelts, y'all.
no, because I'm a Capricorn, right? But
Uh-huh.
what was I gonna say? Yes. Hello.
I did want
Yeah,
to know that.
we're listening, and the audience is saying yes. We want to hear your
We
Don't
want
worry,
to
I'm not
hear some
your
busting.
stuff.
story. Yeah.
No, because what made me more sexually free is when I realized that us women, like me being jealous, was all in my mind. So how I
Um,
how I freed myself was being open to being with a guy dating other women, you know,
mm,
and and like stuff like that. Being open to dating a guy with another woman there, for example, and not being jealous about it,
mm,
because I realized when I was feeling jealous, it had nothing to do with them. It had something to do with me. Nothing about them. If you really think about it, it don't have nothing to do with the guy.
Mhm.
It's all in your mind, basically. So
wow.
that's how I freed myself sexually by practicing that kind of stuff. That's that stuff, something that I wouldn't usually do until I'm not triggered
Mm,
anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like
yes.
now I'm not triggered because I
Mm,
dealt with the issue within. If you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
yeah.
Queen of Swords, you need to write a book.
Mhm.
So now I'm not triggered. I'll be like, yeah, bring them over. Let me meet them. Because
Wow.
being jealous don't have nothing to do with the person. So, and when you have sex like that, you're able to have an orgasm because you're not having sex with restrictions. You're free. There's
Yeah.
no rules. There's no rules. We don't own each other. You know,
Mhm.
Where do
once
you
you
think
have
this?
that kind of mindset, it makes your heart chakra light too.
So where does this ownership concept? I mean, Mimi, tell us
Mhm.
about that. And that's a good point that you brought up, Queen of Swords. A lot of people want to own your spacesuit after they have a little bit of bliss from you. What's with the ownership or the possession, or and during the connection?
Pussy.
Where does the possession come from?
I think that the possession comes from a lot of things in which we've been conditioned to believe that in monogamy and like having this one person and stuff like that. And I think that that definitely is like back and feeling like nobody else has access to this candy but yourself. And so oh yeah, I know. Yeah, it's to me rooted in lack. If you have that thing, if you first have that bliss within self, and and you have a partner or whatever, you can say, hey, I would like to be I would like to be with you and for it to be the both of us. However, if you're not open to that as well, I understand. But like it's not coming from a place of lack, trying to hold on to things. Does that
Mhm.
make
Mm,
sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay. Baraka, what's your take on it? You still with us? You look like a
Yeah,
shamanic
it's.
monk,
I'm
man,
listening.
with the
Yeah.
flames in the background, brother. You
Yeah.
doing acid on the show, man?
Nah, nah,
I feel
nah,
like rolling a spliff. Let me stop.
nah, nah. Strictly natural green.
Hmm.
So I was listening to what Muriel was saying, and I was thinking in my mind, I was like imagining selfish sex.
Mm.
That's
Yep.
it's like you could be having sex with somebody, but that's not the person that you're with in your mind.
Yes.
If we
Like you're
just
not.
have that mindset that we don't own each other, the sex will be
Mhm,
so much more powerful. But most people
exactly.
do. That's the messed up thing about it.
So
Mm.
what happens is that people end up really they just masturbating with a partner.
Damn.
Ooh, that's good, Baraka. That's
Hmm.
really good. No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Okay.
but it's like you're asking people to be real. That's
Yes.
that's not popular in America.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
but because I promote that lifestyle, I usually attract guys
Yeah.
that's free spirit. So they'll tell me about their girlfriends, the the first few days we were talking and show me the pictures like, oh, this is my girl, and you know, the guys I meet don't lie to me. They tell me the truth. So I don't go through guys lying about not having a girl because I have that energy already. So, you
Mm.
know,
Yeah.
Well, that's
and
powerful. What you just
the
said
sex
there.
is more powerful when when you're true to yourself.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the things that I'm going to share is that, like, just like the sister said, I had to when I was younger, I don't know if this was the activation of the Tantrika. I don't know. I never really investigated that, but like I would literally have these experiences when I was sleeping, and feeling like someone was sleeping with me spiritually,
Mhm.
and like like ejaculating, coming everything, like having like I had a whole sexual experience. And so, it's not until I began to master, just like she said, my own sexual energy that stopped.
Wow.
Like I would feel the person, I'd feel their body, I'd feel and everything.
Wow. Okay. Well, family, she's going to have a workshop the 20th of September,
That's this Sunday.
this Sunday. Sexual
Hey.
liberation and manifestation. Um,
Mhm.
if you want to register, you go to intuitblends.com. And if you want to support the sister at PayPal, here you have it. Book redefining you at gmail.com. Cash App the Hazy Unicorn. Here's a 5-week workshop series. If you want to free yourself to be yourself, I want to
Yes.
thank you, Queen of Swords, for being on
Thank
the
you.
program tonight. You're looking beautiful
Thank you,
and
Queen of Swords.
timeless. Y'all take a look at her. Give her a hand. Give her a hand.
40,
Yes,
40,
girl.
Yeah.
40, 40. No meat
You look
diet.
great.
hmm Yeah. So,
Mm.
any closing words, Sister Muriel?
I would just say, allow yourself to evolve to the next version of who you are. You don't
Mm,
have to continue to keep repeating the same cycles. Give yourself room to evolve by learning something new and doing different things. That's
mm,
it.
cool. Thank you. And Queen of Swords, what would you like to say? What would
Uh,
your encouraging words be to the sisters who need
my
to
encouraging words
get in touch with their
is
bliss?
is be true to yourself and create your own rules, the rules that works for you.
Mm.
That's it.
Say it again, Capricorn.
Yes, create your own. Yes,
I want to thank
create your own
everyone
rules.
being a part of this show tonight. I want to thank all the audience now and in the future. I think a lot of people enjoyed hearing your words tonight, Mirielle, Queen of Swords. Thank you, Brother Baraka.
Mhm.
And
Yo, both of these sisters are max. That's
say it
all it
again,
is.
brother.
They're
Thank
just a
you.
couple of max.
Yeah, yeah, they're
Yes.
I
beautiful,
received that.
I
beautiful.
recognize game.
Yes.
Ah. Ah.
Oh, no comment.
No comment. Uh-huh. Yeah, this was very enjoyable. I want to
It
thank
was. It
Yeah.
definitely was.
thank all the
Thank you.
Yes.
ascended
Thank
Nice
you,
to
masters.
meet
We
you
Hayes.
had
guys.
Thank you,
comedians,
Baraka.
spirits of the comedy
Thank you.
masters were here. We had all the ascended masters and archangels,
Yo,
rishas. They were all here.
yo, yo, that was an amazing invocation, by the way. I told you I was backstage. So
Yeah,
everybody
it
was
was.
in the house. Everybody's in the house tonight. Let's
Mm.
Yes.
just say it's gonna be a crazy after party.
Oh yeah.
I'm here for it.
Time to roll up.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
here for it. I have my blue lotus oil, in
Oh
which
yeah. Tell
I
us
am going to
about
be
that blue.
dosing soon.
Hey, listen.
Uh,
You know what? I gotta share this with the family. Somebody asked, what's the zodiac sign of Mimi?
I'm a Gemini.
Y'all heard it.
No wonder.
What do you mean? No wonder.
No, because
Gemini.
usually I get along with Geminis because they're so free spirit, you know?
Hmm.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a Gemini. So okay,
mm.
Hank, you were asking me a question about the blue lotus or something like
Yeah, I
that.
want to listen. I'm gonna tell the family. Blue Lotus. We gotta start embracing Blue Lotus. It is very beautiful plant that goes back into antiquity. I'm
Yes.
on a Blue Lotus ayahuasca microdose right now, and I am feeling real nice. And I
Mhm.
want to say, Mimi, what do you have as far as Blue Lotus you'd like to share that's available?
Okay, right now we have the Blue Lotus oil. This is like handmade by me, and it's um
Mm.
and it's Blue Lotus, pure Blue Lotus. Let me see about my bag. I I have it by the kilos here,
Yeah.
and
Oh.
um and yeah, and I strain it and everything. So I have that. That's gonna be up on the website starting tomorrow. I have my Blue Lotus Sacred Sage, which is for anyone who wants to protect their energy, clear their energy. It's a spray. A spray is it's smokeless sage, which is infused with blue lotus to give you the same calm and peaceful energy which Hank is feeling right now, in your
Mhm.
home, at your job, or whatever. I have people that order it by the gallons, like, and just rebottle it and give it away.
Wow.
And that comes in various sizes. And I also have the Blue Lotus tea. Blue Lotus tea, it comes in 20 count as well as 45 count. That just gives you like a nice calming Zen flow. I have some erotica oils coming in November, but my chemist told me not to tell anybody about those yet. That's going to be Blue Lotus infused as well.
Nice, nice. Okay. Um, for those of you who want to get some Blue Lotus, you can get it from Sister Mimi. And I hear your kitty cat in the background.
Mm-hmm. Kitty wants some
Yeah,
attention.
Jealous.
that's yours, Queen of Swords.
Yes.
Bring him up to the camera. Maybe he wants to be on the show too.
Mm-hmm.
Shut that pussy cat
Oh
up.
wow,
Say
Hi,
hello, Papa.
Kitty.
little panther. Wow, that's a wow.
That's my
Look where
son.
he went.
Mhm.
Oh, look
A
at
big
him.
one. Oh,
Oh, he's fabulous.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Brat.
look at him.
So
Hmm.
yeah, guys, if
Mhm.
you're looking for your blue lotus,
Are
you
we
can go to
really
Intuit
gonna sit
Blends.
here and watch her play with her cat?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
are, man. For a moment, we are. Yeah, yeah. Because what is the main thing of this? This is a show featuring queen cats. So continue, Muriel,
Yeah.
about
That's not the
people.
kind of cat we looking for, right? Right, Morocco?
No, no.
Listen.
It is black.
See, see. I'm sitting here watching her play with her cat. I'm like,
Oh
come
boy.
on.
Someone asked a question about the blue lotus. You
Every
can go to the
they
website.
like, oh, look how big it is.
I know. Look how
Oh
meaty.
boy.
I'm like,
You
come
guys are
on.
funny.
So
If
someone asked a question about the Blue Lotus. You can go to the website www.intuitblends. I think it's scrolling on the bottom. That's INTUIT blends.com. Yeah, scrolling out along the bottom. In order to get your Blue Lotus tea, or oil is going to be up tomorrow, as well as Blue Lotus Sacred Sage, protect your energy,
Yeah,
which I'm very big on. So yeah, especially during this time right now.
and also family. Consider the possibilities of having blue lotus on your crystals or your amulets or your
Mhm.
aura
Mm.
or your chakras.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yes, activate them things. Get that mood going. That's that flow. And it's also a natural aphrodisiac, so it
Mm-hmm.
turns things on. I promise you with that. It turns things on.
Y'all
yo
heard it.
Hank, yo Hank, yo Hank,
Yeah.
yo, end the show, man. Cut it off.
Yeah. This is making Monday start to moan, Jack.
Uh-oh.
We love you, Baraka. Mwah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So, in closing, I want to thank you again, Sister Mimi. I want to thank you,
Thank
Queen of
you.
Swords. I want to thank you, Baraka. I want to
All
thank all
right.
the audience that had so many hilarious comments to share. This was a lot of fun.
It
Until the
definitely
next
was.
time.
Okay.
All
Good night,
right.
y'all.
Good
Blessings.
night. Good night. Many blessings. Mwah.
Good night.
Peace.
Peace.